Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
And we are back. You know, time flies when you're having fun, as we tell everybody all the time. We got 2 more segments to go. But we actually have a caller that actually called in.
800-808-5548 if you want to call in and if you have a question about credit, if you've got credit issues or questions about how it works, give us a call.
Absolutely.
And we're jumping to...
And right now we have Manuel, actually.
Hey, morning.
Morning.
How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Good. I don't know if this question's been asked already. I think I tuned in a little late there, but regarding credit repair companies.
Uh-huh.
What do they actually do? How would you fix my credit if I go to you? I mean, it's just so. What's done actually to repair credit?
You know, I think I can address the first part of this, Joe.
Sure.
Which is, everybody asks me that question, and I say one thing all the time.
All right.
Improve My Credit USA.
Yay!
That's just me personally. No, but Manuel, very good question, by the way. You know, we have people ask us that same question, and one of the things, and I can tell you this as a third-party testimonial. I have used a lot of credit repair companies in the past. I have never, ever gotten the service, the quality, and the results that I've gotten since I've started using Improve My Credit USA. And Joe, obviously being one of the founders and owners and chief marketing officers of Improve My Credit USA, can answer sort of what they do within there. But from a third-party perspective, I can tell you is the service that you get, and I appreciate this all the time, is absolutely incredible. From an individual like myself who has to use a service and has to use Improve My Credit USA, it is great to know that I have a good business partner, not just somebody who's out there trying to take care of themselves.
Well, I appreciate that quite a bit, Chris. We have a great staff that does a phenomenal job in supporting our clients. Makes me look good.
Yes.
Lucho
and that's not easy.
Has me covered on the outside, and my team has got me covered on the inside. So what do you call it? To address your question, answer your question, Manuel, what a credit repair company does, we actually tell our clients this, that all we do is what you can do yourself. And that's kind of shocks people when you hear it. I frequently tell folks that what we do is not hard, it's just tedious and the pain in the rear end. We get paid to be frustrated on your behalf, right? Here's how it works, and it's pretty straightforward. What a true credit improvement company does is, on your behalf, hold the creditors and the credit bureau's feet to the fire and make sure they followed the rules, that they played by the rules, because everything that's said about you on your credit profile has to be 100% accurate, 100% verifiable within the time frame that they are allowed to report. And unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know, depending on what side of the table you're sitting on, unfortunately, they get that wrong a lot. 60 Minutes did an investigative video back in February last year. They said on national TV that their findings were that 1 in 5 people have errors on their credit reports, and 1 in 10 have serious enough errors that they are causing them financial damage. That was on national TV. The Attorney General for Ohio, in his exact words, in the interview, his exact words were, "I believe the credit bureaus," and he paused and he said, "No, I know that the credit bureaus are violating the law."
Right.
This is the Attorney General for Ohio. It's not like, some, Dan from Dan's Automotive that made the claim. This is the Attorney General for Ohio that stated on national TV, "I know they are breaking the law."
Right.
Right. So, unfortunately, our credit system is in some serious need of improvement. They get things wrong on our credit reports quite a lot. So what a credit repair company does for the consumer is look at your credit, all the items that are reporting. When you have a negative item, the law says that you have the right to verify the accuracy of that item. So I like to tell folks I'm in the truth business. I'm the truth guy. I want to make sure
verifying what is being said is truthful.
Exactly. So
makes sense.
that's what we do, and that's for most consumers, they look at credit repair companies, and say, hey, I want to pay you to delete all the bad stuff off my credit. Yep. And it doesn't work that way, nor do I want it to work that way. I want an accurate representation of the buyer so that lenders are making good loans. That's what I want. And so we sit down, look at that credit report, and then on the consumer's behalf, we go to the creditors and the credit bureaus and say, verify that what you're stating about this guy or this gal is right. It's accurate. And unfortunately, like I said, they get it wrong quite a bit.
Hope that helps, Manuel. Any other questions you got?
Well, I guess it would be interested to look at that video you mentioned, or that segment from 60 Minutes. I think that's what you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have that on our website, ImproveMyCreditUSA.com, and if you put /blog, there's all sorts of neat articles, and that's one of the articles on our blog.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Well, Manuel, thanks a lot for calling, bud. We really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys. Y'all have a great day there. I appreciate you.
Thanks
Likewise,
for calling
you
in.
too.
We have another caller.
We have another caller came right behind it. We have Anna, actually, which is on the line right now. Anna, how you doing?
Yep. Anna, you there?
Anna, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi, how are you? I just had a quick question. I had credit cards back in college, which was like 30-plus years ago, and when we tried to get out of debt a few years back, we closed all those accounts, and all we have now is a debit card, and so, of course, that has affected my credit rating because now I have no record of having any credit history.
Yes.
So is there any way to recapture that, or is that just gone for now?
No, it is absolutely a doable thing. The common way, and let me just say at the beginning of this that I would highly recommend sitting down with one of our credit experts, one of our credit consultants. It's a complimentary consultation, so it doesn't cost you anything. Whether you need us or not, it doesn't matter. We'll look at your situation, tell you what you need to do, give you direction and guidance, and if you do need our services, you're welcome to engage them, but that's not a requirement for the consultation. Mm-hmm. And I'll give you the number right now, the weekend number, so that you can get a hold of one of our guys today.
Okay.
You can reach them at 713-936-0589.
Okay.
And our website is ImproveMyCreditUSA.com. Says what we do and where we do it.
Yep, absolutely. But to answer Anna's question,
yes,
though,
to answer that question,
she needs to establish some credit at this point,
right?
Because she has none other than the debit card, which doesn't report out there.
Right. So, how do you go about that?
We thought we were doing the right thing, trying to get out of credit. We paid off all the accounts. All we're using is cash and debit card, but it's starting to affect our credit history because we want to sell our home and get another car and
absolutely
all of that. And I have no record, and I've had credit cards since back in the 1980s.
So this is exactly the scenario that I was talking about earlier in the show. I don't know if you got to hear it. There's some big names out there in the Christian community who kind of preach the whole idea of getting rid of all of your credit cards, unplugging from the credit system, and this is where it takes you.
Yes,
I'm not a proponent. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm not a proponent of being in debt. And let me say in defense of this person, because I don't want to slam them here on air or use their name or whatever, 90% of the stuff they say I agree with, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big proponent of being debt-free.
Right.
Big proponent of being debt-free. I am not a big proponent of unplugging from the credit system and being in a situation like where you're at now, where you're hurt, where you can't get a loan, you can't get a home loan or whatever else because you've lost that credit history.
Well, and there's a big difference about being debt-free and unplugging from the system.
Exactly.
You can actually maintain a credit card. You can maintain items associated that are reporting on your credit and still be debt-free.
Absolutely. In fact, if you're really sharp about it, there are credit cards out there that will pay you points, either travel or whatever, but even cash. I had one for 3 years until they quit the program, that for every $2,000 you ran through the card, you got $20.
Right.
Well, I paid all my bills through that card, and then I would just pay the card off, right?
Right.
I paid virtually nothing in interest. I mean, literally just dollars a month. And every year I averaged between $300, $360 that I got cash back on that card.
Right.
So I actually made money using the card.
Absolutely.
Right? So you
I'm
can be
gonna
smart
call you
about
guys because, we're starting to look at, buying a car, and
it. Yes.
like my credit score, I think, is in the mid 600s, and I know it could be a lot higher.
Sure.
Well,
And
I would
that's not-
definitely say give them a call,
Yeah,
sit
yeah.
down, do that consultation. They'll guide you some items right there. There are some things you can do in regards to some secured credit cards that report on your credit. But there's some different items you can come up with right there. And I think every person's situation is different. One of the things we always talk about is we never want to get into personal items on air, and I'm sure you don't either.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of things out there you can still do. If you had good credit in the past, right now you don't. You need to establish some new credit. Get with one of the credit individuals over at ImproveMyCreditUSA.com, and they can sort of guide you through some of the short-term changes you can make to be able to have some very good long-term results.
Great. Thank you so much.
You
Likewise,
bet.
Anna,
Thanks
we
for
appreciate
listening.
it.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that was an exact example of what we spoke about there.
Yes.
That's what ends up happening.
You end up in a situation where in the idea of trying to be a good steward of your finances, you cut these credit cards up, you unplug and all this sort of thing. Yay, I'm doing great. And then a few years down the road, you're trying to buy a car, trying to buy a home, whatever else. And now you have bad credit because you have no credit.
Right. That is correct.
That's what happens.
And there are things, you can establish a secured credit card.
Yeah.
Let's say you have zero credit. We tell this all the time. There's things you can do in regards to piggybacking. There's things you can do in regards to establishing a secured credit card where you put money down on this credit card and it reports to the credit bureaus, but it's essentially you're using your own money to establish a new credit history right there. So there are some things to do out there. And like I said, every person's credit is a little bit different, so that's why it's on an individual basis.
Yes.
But it's definitely attainable.
One thing real quick before we get to the break that I wanted to touch on was how the debt can affect you, right?
Right.
One of the things that folks don't know is that the credit algorithm looks at the amount of debt you carry on a per card basis, not just an overall basis. So what does that mean? Well, every credit card looks at your balance in a 20% increment. So 0 to 20%, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, and 80 to 100. Each
Right.
one of those zones is kind of like A, B, C, D, E, kind of a deal, right? The
Right.
A zone, 0 to 20%. That's where you want to keep your balances, 0
Right.
to 20%. Once you cross that 40% line is where you start taking your first ding in your scores. Doesn't
Right.
matter if you're paying your bills on time or not, your scores start going down. So we're going against the break here. That was kind of the last word I wanted to leave folks with, is to be aware that if you roll all of your debt over to one card because it has 0% interest or whatever, you're wanting to use that to get out of debt, know that if you max that card out, even if all your other ones have zero balances,
Right.
it's going to tank your score.
Yep, I would agree.
So you have to be aware of that kind of stuff.
Well, we are coming up against a break right now. Last segment online coming here pretty soon. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.